I'm here. I see it.
Hey world,
Hey, y'all.
hey Dallas, welcome to Tit for Tat. I'm Alvin.
And I'm, what is that? What are you talking?
What?
What was that?
What was what?
You didn't just hear that after we talked?
Yeah, it's like an echo again.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Then.
Um, I don't know, Charles. Maybe does it have anything to do with your computer?
I'm doing the same thing I always do every week. I haven't done anything different.
All right, let's get into it. All right, you ready? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this echo was about. Uh,
I went out. I went out. Now I'm back in. You heard the little beep thing, so it's still doing it.
that's a fine. Let's just go. All right. So today, everybody, welcome. And sorry about last week's episode. We're short. Um, I I didn't have the enough charge in my computer, and I wasn't paying attention, so I apologize for that. I think I got that fixed. Now we have an echo here or a delay. So today we're going to be talking about why are you so gay? And basically, we're asking. I wonder if this will fix it.
What? Because you had two open. I was gonna say that. Why is it two of these people up here?
Well, that's there's
You gotta fix it. It's not doing it. Thank you, Alvin.
can they hear us? Can y'all hear us in there?
Let us know if you can hear us in the comments. I think we had too many browsers open because mine is muted.
Let's see here.
Unless this can't post comments or something. Oh, could get that. You know, you have this option down here too. It says alternate destination, Alvin and Charles. I changed mine to Alvin and Charles.
Okay.
And yours is still, I mean, if that's what you, I don't know if yours is normally like that. But
I wonder if it's doing it because of the X, Twitter.
yeah, I would change it because
Would you change yours?
right here, it has two destinations, and I changed it to Alvin and Charles.
Okay.
I don't hear the echo. I mean, we've been talking. I don't hear the echo, but we haven't heard anybody. Now we're just down to one person.
Okay.
That one person, can you hear us before we go on? Because we don't want to continue talking if you can't hear us.
Usually, can't we hear ourselves talking though? Right.
No, I never hear myself talking.
Okay. Can you hear us, world? Okay, let's go. So today we are going to be talking about why are you so gay? What I want to talk about, like, do you think it's genetics? Like, are we born gay? You know, like most of us think that we were born gay, and then, but also, you know, there could be environmental factors, and then also, what about molestation? You know, like the boys and the girls, you know, young, a lot of them are molested as young kids into adult, into teenagers and stuff like that. So, I want to just talk about that a little bit, and then and why do you think we're, there are gay people on this earth? So, what do you think about that, Charles?
Well, I definitely believe that we're born gay. I don't think there's anything that causes a person to be gay other than what they're attracted to, what you like, I'm not a scientist. I don't know about genetics, but I think we do have some data that we will share with you guys later. But for me as a person, just going by, what I've experienced in these few years that I've been here. Yeah, because I'm not that old.
You're a baby,
Right?
You're a toddler.
I am. Do I look like this? All this crazy. No, but what I've experienced in the world, from what I can see is I just know what I like. I will say that I believe our like social constructs have something to do with who you do pursue in life. Like, it was just told to me that, or I just seen it. I mean, I have eyes, I can see that usually a man will be with a lady. I don't really remember the first gay person I saw, or even when I even understood the concept of gay. So I can't say that I really ever saw that. I want to say all I saw before me growing up was heterosexual relationships. And seeing that, I don't think it had either way, but I knew that that's probably what I should, fall into line with as well. So I had girlfriends. I mean, I took a girl to the prom. I mean, I had relationships with girls up until college, but there was situations in my life that also made me look at the same sex differently. And we'll get into that probably a little bit later. But I just think it's, it just depends on who you're attracted to. I don't think anything just makes you. There may be some things that may wake that up in you that you noticed or whatever. I don't think it's like a choice. Some people say, I'm gay because I choose to be gay or whatever. So I don't choose to be gay, but I'm glad I wouldn't have it any other way. So, yeah.
What's the earliest you think that you recollect, or remember that you were attracted to the same sex, or attracted sexually to anybody? But what specifically, when do you think that? You think it was like a real early age, or do you think that it was like late in your late teens, or or some environmental factor or something that triggered?
To actually be attracted to it, it would have to be later in life. It would have to be like when I was probably maybe like teenage age or whatever. Is when I was actually attracted to another guy. Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to say, because I can actually recall when I first I'm going to say this. I was never molested. I don't think so. But but I was, I don't feel like I was molested. I don't feel like I was molested. In my family, I never heard the word gay, lesbian. Back then, I didn't hear anything about trans, but I never heard those type of words. My mother and father, they were around, until they got a divorce or whatever. But my grandparents, they were all married, so there was male figures, female figures, male figures. But I don't ever recall hearing the word gay or anybody talking about gay or bisexual or saying anything positive or negative about it in my family at all, even around any of my cousins. And so I'm going to say, for me, I do believe that most of us in the world are born gay. When you actually recognize the actual term, what the term means or whatever, could be later in life, the definition of it, or when you start hearing people, call people fag, sissy, punk, gay, homosexual or whatever. But I never heard that word, so I didn't know anything about being gay, about being straight, because not even straight, the word was not ever mentioned in my family. And all I saw was male and female, So, but I recall when I was really in kindergarten, there was a little boy in my class, in my kindergarten class. And I can recall, even though I didn't know what having a crush on anybody meant, I can recall having these little, something was drawing me towards that boy, and I think, even though I didn't know anything about sex, hadn't experienced it or anything like that, there was little sexual something going through my mind even at that time. Even though nothing became of it or whatever, I just kind of would have this little crush on him from afar, right? Even though I played with him, his name was David, and but then come first grade, I did start having these other little inklings toward other little boys that were my age, like my friend who lived across the street from my grandparents. His name was Marlon. I remember having a little crush on him, and couldn't wait to get to my grandparents' house to go play so I can go see Marlon, and then it was kind of vice versa with him too, because he was kind of shy, but for some reason, me and him were drawn to each other. And then so we hung out and played. And then, but at the same time, I had a little crush on this girl that was down the hill at my grandparents' house when I would go over there. She was a little white girl. Marlon was black. But, I still, I was like kind of torn between, but I liked them both. But, and I can say that, I had these little sexual inklings, didn't know what it was, but I had these little sexual inklings that was drawing me towards both of them. But it seemed like it drew me more towards Marlon, okay? And then as I got a little bit older, so those are my first recollections of knowing that, that I did that I liked little boys. So, and we were around the same age. So then come fourth grade, I had a girlfriend, right? But I also was having crushes on boys that was in my class and my friends that were my age. And so I can remember going over to my friend's house, and I would spend the night at his house, right? We were in the fourth grade, and I would spend the night at his house. And then we kind of play back and forth, like boys do, play back and forth, wrestling and tussling. Well, his mother worked at night. So, one night I was over there spending the night and she had gone to work. And then he had two little twin beds in his room. Okay. Well, I'm on one twin bed going to sleep. He's in the other. Well, he got out of that twin bed this time. This time he never did it before, but he got out that twin bed and he came over there and got into the same bed with me. Okay. And we started playing, he started playing with me first, so I went back to playing with him again. I liked it, whatever. I still didn't know what gay was or what any of that was, but I knew I was attracted to that. Now, I'm not gonna say the weird thing, but after that, he never spoke to me again. He didn't even want to be friends with me. He was the one who initiated it. And and I'm going to go back over there and want to spend the night again because I wanted it to happen again. Now there was no ejaculation or nothing like that because we were too young, but it was still a little arousal and a feeling in my head, that drew me towards him. And when he did touch me, I liked it. But even before that, I had a little inkling. So as I got older and started hearing the word gay, homosexual, probably more so towards when I got into like junior high, going into high school, is when I started hearing more about it. So I was able to put a name to the, to what I was feeling and stuff, like that. So it is demonic, not genetic, not environment. Harriet Boating said that it is demonic. So okay, so I know in my mind, or in my feelings, in my mind, I believe I was born that way. Even though I had dated some girls throughout junior high school, whatever, and then but my attraction was always more towards
Right.
towards the boys my age. When I was in high school, I had a crush on my friend Curtis.
Right.
And then as I got into college, it was just different ones and stuff, but I knew my attraction was more drawn towards men by that time. And I knew what gay homosexual was by that time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say for me, it was that I think most of us are born that way.
Right. This same thing I said. I just want to also say, just to clarify, because I know we probably have these questions, that people may think that we're confused because, well, first of all, I want to say that when you're raising a family and you have parents that are responsible for you, they're not going to just allow you to just do whatever for the most part. I know we do have this new generation now where a lot of families are a lot more liberal, a lot more understanding of, who do you feel you are, whatever. But when I was growing up, I mean, like I said, the social construct or whatever, it was just, I saw man and woman. So I just followed suit. It had nothing to do with me. It wasn't to say that I was confused or, are you confused now or whatever, or what. I just followed suit. At this point, I did not really know what I was attracted to. That's why I said that it was later on in life that I, realized that I was attracted to a dude. Because now I can actually, I guess I have a more sense of of my feelings, like what I really feel, what I really like. But that's not to say that I don't find women attractive or girls or whatever because I dated or whatever. So it has nothing to do with us being confused or anything. So I know people may be saying that because why if you say you this, but you were dating girls or whatever, and Alvin's story is similar, he was attracted to girls as well. I mean, you just do the normal thing, you just follow suit or whatever. But that's not to say that that is a direction people are going to take. You have to let people choose who they actually like. That's why I was saying it depends on, it just goes by who you like and what you like or whatever. But there's more to my story, but I just wanted to stay on task with the question, were you born gay? And I think we both agreed that you're not.
Wait a minute. You said we agree that you're not born gay?
I did not say that. I said we agree that we are born gay.
Okay, you just said that. I think you what you said was, I think we both agree that you are not. That's what you said.
If I did say that, which I don't think I did,
okay. I just want to clarify because I'm saying I was born gay.
I said the same thing. Okay. I said it before you because I asked the question first. But I want to address this, Harriet. It is demonic. Did you want to classify that or expound upon that or whatever? Because in no way do I feel like I'm demonic. Like I said before, I'm not a scientist. So I don't know anything about the gene part. But we would love to, if you want to expound on that, if you're still in the room.
Well, so with Harriet, so the reason it says it is demonic, not genetic, not environment. So I'm gonna draw a conclusion and say that Harriet is saying that because she's going off of biblical scripture, what she believes probably, what the Bible says about, which is fine. Everybody has their opinion, but if you want to come in, Harriet, the link is, we put the link up there. If you go click on that link and come in, if you want to explain why you think it's demonic. There's a lot of stuff in the Bible that that can say whether, what people believe is demonic. And then, so for her even to say demonic, whatever, to me, that's like she's not even following scripture anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's her version of what she thinks scripture is,
right,
and using demonic to explain a whole group, not a whole group, but a whole world full of people. So if you would like to come in, Harry, or you can type in the comments why you believe it's demonic, then let us know. But if you don't, I'm going to assume it's because you're going by biblical scripture. And to call us devils, I mean, I don't know. That's your opinion.
Yeah, I have no demon in me, so.
Yeah. So, and then if we're demonic, what does that make you? But who knows what's going on in your life,
right?
And and what you're doing, in your environment, in your sexuality, if you have it at all. Oh. I just thought it was a hateful comment, but she can comment anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to, okay, you are not devil. God loves you so much. Okay, so I don't really you're right. God does love us. I don't know what you mean. You're not devil. But yeah, okay. But if you like, Albert said, if you would like to come in and expound upon that, there's the link or what have you. Because I'm open to all, whatever. But so I guess she's going against the part that we are born gay. And she's jumping to, no, it's not none of that. It's not none of that. It's demonic or whatever. And okay.
So okay, so let's just go back to Harriet's thing. So if she's saying it's demonic, and assuming that, so if she's assuming that it goes against the will of God or whatever, then but then she comes back and says God loves us, or whatever. But a lot of people think that God does hate gays, like hates the homos, or whatever. But if you go off of it as being a sin, there's a lot of things in the Bible that says something is a sin. I don't believe it's a sin. I never even heard it was a sin till I heard it through church. I never heard that through my family or anything like that. But if it is a sin, then why are we still here then? If God hated gays, if God hated the homos, the queers, the lesbians, however you want to categorize yourself, if God hated us so much, and people go off of those texts in the Bible, Leviticus, and then Sodom and Gomorrah, well, if they're using those texts like he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom because of, now we know the reason why, in his fatality that was going on there, and then there was rape and stuff going on. But if God hated us so much and he wanted to destroy and get rid of the gays, why are we still here? And why are we here in abundance? And why are we still being created? Straight people, heterosexual people created us mostly. I know there's artificial insemination out there. I know there's all type of, whatever going on out there now. But if homosexuality was a sin, and God didn't like the homosexuals or whatever, why are we still here then? If you wiped out Sodom, why didn't you just wipe us all out?
Right. There's a lot of stuff that's still here that they say God doesn't like. So, but I think she points out that God loves you so much. So I guess that's why we're still here, because he loves us. Demons are influencing you to go against God's word. I don't know any scripture that says I can't love who I choose to love, or I can't be who I want to be, or whatever. So I don't know. Then she said God loves the person but hates the sin. That's one of the most awful statements that I hear Christians say. So God loves you but hates the sinful gay act. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the way Christians spin, the God loves the person but hates the sin. Um, because it's almost like I'll love you as long as you do what I want you to do or what I require. Your love should be unconditional or whatever. And I know you're saying he loves you, but he hates the sin. I mean, I would just say God loves you, period. You don't have to mention the sin, because if that's the case, then that's gonna be everybody, because everybody does something, you know, that probably doesn't so-called please God or whatever. He said all things without faith is a sin. So if you're doing anything and you don't have the faith behind it, that's a sin. So I mean, everybody can fall in that category or whatever. So I guess I don't want to beat up on Harry. I hope you're not getting that, but we're taking what you're saying. But to us, it's no validity to it, because um, God is a God of love. I mean, I think most religions believe that. I guess I don't know. I mean, that's what I choose to believe, and I choose to believe that there's nothing abnormal about me. I just think that I find men to be attractive, and that's who I want to be with. So why is that a sin? It's two consensual adults. So I don't know why that's demonic or whatever. So anyway, hey, Jay and Joe, hey, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Glad you guys were able to come and join us.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch y'all program too, because I did see they went live, I think, earlier today.
Yeah, I saw them today.
Yeah,
It was a good show. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see where she's going off of the scriptures. But again, I'm going to say, with those scriptures, there's a lot in there, and a lot of those commandments and rules stuff, they were meant for, the Israelites, the Jews and stuff, like that. They weren't written for, all the other nations and stuff that were out there. But then again, if Harriet and anybody else who believes that way, why are we still here then? Why are we not wiped off the planet of the earth if God didn't want us here?
and that goes for any sin, though. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't want the thieves, if whatever you consider a sin, why is it still going on?
Yeah, and I don't believe that being gay is a sin.
I don't
I don't know if you go off of the, God doesn't make mistakes, because Christians are always, quoting scriptures and stuff in the Bible, and to me they misquote them a lot, or whatever, or they're just going off of what they hear the preacher say or something, and not actually studying and going to find out what's behind these scriptures, and who wrote them, and when they were written and what they were for.
Right.
But then so if you know what I'm saying?
All right, now, so I was with you until you started talking about all this other stuff, Harriet, because now you're saying that gays are dying at an alarming rate. All human society is dying, and then you go to say anal sex destroys you.
Well, then maybe she needs to talk to a urologist.
Right.
Okay, because a urologist will correct you that, women and men can have anal sex, and it does not harm you. Okay?
And she doesn't need to have anal sex. So you stay away, Harry. You stay away from anal sex, because you don't want to get destroyed. And I've been having, I'm telling all my business, but of course, I've had anal sex, and I'm still here. So yeah, I'm not destroyed.
Well, maybe she should try anal sex. She might like it.
But
You know?
you'll be destroyed.
Well, I guess we ain't gonna be here forever, so maybe Harriet will be destroyed. You know, because I don't plan on going nowhere really anytime soon just from having anal sex. But you know, thanks, Harriet. And then she says, I say it. She says, I say it all in love.
Oh, destroying is love. Okay, thank you. I don't like that love.
Yeah. Okay, Harriet.
But thank you for all your comments. But I think we get the gist of it, that you know, that because of certain beliefs you have, you believe that, you know, we are living a life that is not pleased by God, I guess, and that we should change. And I don't know what data or experience you have on that, but we are trying to convey to you is that we had no thank you, that we had no say in who we are attracted to, other than, you know, us actually evaluating, you know, what we feel inside. And that was our, I guess, push to go and, you know, try to be in relationships with other guys or whatever. No one pressured us. No one forced us. So there was no demon that came in the, you know, in our beds at night and told us or made us a certain way. We're telling you, what we're trying to convey to you is that we woke up, born or whatever, and this is just what it was. Did we experiment or did we? And I think everyone should. You know, I think everyone should try anything once or I mean, you know, at least once. If you know, if it's not harming anyone and it's not harming yourself, you know, go ahead by all means. Because you never know, you may like it or you may not. But at least you tried it. You know what I mean? So, and like I was trying to convey in the beginning, it's not, because people may say, well, if you're gay, then why'd you even go that route? Like I said, because of the environment of whatever, or because of what we saw, we just follow suit. But at that young of an age, you really don't know. Like one day you might like macaroni and cheese, and the next day you may not like macaroni and cheese. You know what I mean? So you're still developing what, you know, you like or whatever. But when you come to a certain age, like they say, I know that I know that I know that I know. You come to an age where you know that you know that you know what you actually like or whatever, and that's what we you know, that's where we are at this point. We know exactly what we like, and because of that, we can look at our past and say, you know what, I was born gay. I know that. I know without a doubt I was born this way. And if God is a God of good and he creates everything perfect or whatever, then he created me perfect with my gay self. Because, you know, no one held a gun to my head and say, you know, be this way. You know, I know a lot of people are of the school of thought that they chose to. I mean, and you know, I think I was there. Well, I know I was there at one point because I grew up in the church, and because it was like, you know, I've heard things like you're saying that, you know, this is not God's will for your life or whatever. So I'm like, well, I'm choosing to be this way. Maybe I'll either be delivered or I'll make a choice to be straight or whatever. But now that I've come to, you know, where I'm at today, I know that it was not a choice. It was actually me just being this way.
I think some people can choose to, you know, I'm not gonna say they choose to be gay, but I think they can choose to have sex with. You can choose to have sex with whoever you want, as long as you're not coerced into it or whatever. You can choose to have sex with whoever you want, but being gay or homosexual, that doesn't have anything that really to do with who you have sex with. It's more of, you know, your emotion. You know, it's your who you're emotionally attracted to or whatever. You can be gay and never have sex with anybody in the whole world, just like straight people can be straight and never ever have sex. You know, they can be celibate or whatever. just like gay people. There are gay people out there that are celibate, but it's what's in your mind and your head and your heart that makes you gay, not your sexual activity. You know, because you can have sex with anybody, right? So you can choose to go out there and have, like, another man can, or woman, they can choose to go out there and have sex with another man. That, to me, that doesn't make them gay.
Right.
That means you just chose to have sex, you know, or y'all was out there doing a whole bunch of drugs and drinking, and all of a sudden your inhibitions got loose and you wanted to try it, you wanted to see what it was. That's just choosing. You can have sex with another man once and never go back and have sex with them again.
Right. So we both have sex with women.
And right, you can, and gay guys, you know, which some are bi, you know, you could be bi, you can bounce back and forth, you know, however that, you know, but you could be gay and you can have sex with a woman, you know, even have kids, you know, whatever. It doesn't make you straight, though. You know, it's going to be how you define yourself and what's emotionally going on inside of you, not your sexual activity. You know, people experiment all the time. Even teenagers growing up, you know, kids, teenagers, they're experimenting. You know, girls, guys are experimenting with each other and stuff, and then they never even cross over to the, you know, gay side or acknowledge the gay side, you know, as they get older. You know, there's people who are been molested in jail or something, you know, or people who have been molested, you know, or whatever. They, you know, there's boys, girls too, but boys have been molested as children, you know, and then a lot of them, you know, actually most of them that have been molested don't grow up and be, you know, don't grow up to be gay. They're heterosexual. Now, they do say a lot of them have a lot of issues sexually, or can be abusive, you know, and stuff because of the trauma that has happened to them. But most of them don't grow up to be gay, you know, or bi because they were molested. Now, there are a percentage that do say that they have, but most of them, from what I have, you know, from personal experience, people who I've talked to, you know, whatever, most gay guys and lesbians, most of us realize early on that we have an attraction towards the same sex. Most of us do, even though we don't act on it or we don't acknowledge it. We know something, you know, there's something going on in our psyche, you know, or whatever, that's drawing us towards the same sex, you know. And I think it starts happening at an early age. We start realizing that we just don't know what it is. And then it gets shut down by, you know, it didn't happen with my parents or, you know, or anybody I knew, but it does happen with a lot, probably with most of the people, you know, when your parents, you know, parents or whoever's raising you start realizing that you're playing with, you know, what they consider feminine things, toys or the clothes or the dolls, you know, and stuff, you know, like that, or you're not drawn towards the sports, you know, or whatever, like men are supposed to, and then they kind of shut that down. So you kind of learn from an early age, you know, not to behave like this or to act like this, or to pursue what's really going on in your, you know, in your psyche. But I do believe there are some people who, you know, where the environment has influenced. You know, I'm not going into that thing where they say, oh, because you have a dominant mother and the father was not home. You know, there's plenty of people who whose fathers were not there, or they had, you know, what they call overbearing mothers or strong mothers and stuff like that. And the kids still come out heterosexual. You know what I'm saying? And if that was the case, then all of us would come out, you know, your brothers and sisters would all come out lesbian or gay too. If, you know, you see what I'm saying? So if you're saying that I'm gay, you know, or whatever, because my father wasn't there, or I was raised by all women, you know, well then, you know, I got 2 straight brothers. I got another gay brother too, and then I got 2 straight sisters. So, you know, why my other 2 brothers gay then? You know, that means all of us should have been gay then, if that's the case, right? If you're using that analogy. Let's see. She says, "Do you think heaven and hell exist?" No, I don't. But Charles probably does, but I don't.
No, Charles speaks for himself.
I said probably. I'm not speaking for you. I said probably. I didn't speak for you.
I'll answer it for myself. I don't think hell exists. No.
No, I don't believe in heaven and hell. I think you create your own heaven and hell in your own mind, in your life, in your life and what's going on in the world, in your life. I believe you create your own heaven and hell. So to answer the question.
Hey, Deshaun, I
Hey,
don't
Deshaun.
think you're new. But thank you for dropping in. A lot of comments. I like that.
So let's see what Deshaun is saying here. But why does molestation got to be touched, you or whatever? Because quite as it's kept, there was gay people that were kids that was abused by sex workers because of their daddies. Remember Boosie? Yeah. Yeah. You get that? With Boosie bringing his son so he can have sex with a woman at such an early age. That's a form of child abuse to me right there. That's a form of molestation where, Bootsy is, brought his child to have sex with another woman, and his child's just a teenager. And then, and so this grown woman having sex with his son or whatever, that's molestation. I would think. And then let's see. And the thing is, it's so sad because these dudes that do make it so pedophilic where it's okay for a boy to have sex with a woman when he's 10 years old, which is weird. Correct. Yep. And then and to touch on that too, it's like when you have sex, they don't balk or go against it when a woman is a grown woman is having sex with a teenager. They really don't. It's not a big stigmatism to it like it is when a man is having sex. It's all pedophilia and bad. You know what I'm saying? Regardless whether a man is doing it to a young child or a woman is doing it to a young child, but it's all bad. But it's almost like a rite of passage for boys to sleep with older women. But then, but when an older man sleeps with a younger woman or a boy, then it's it's just really bad. You know what I mean? So because that's why I don't know. When I was in the sixth grade, there was a woman, she was 16. She wasn't a grown woman, but she was 16, and she already had two kids by the time she was 16. And then me, my mother was at work, but then me and my brother, my older brother, me, and then my younger brother, we was at home. And then I remember, she's dead now. She's dead now. I think she died in jail or something. I don't know. She had a rough life, but her name was Ada, and she was our friend. We all hung. Even though we were younger, we all would be hanging out at their place, and they'd be hanging out. We just hung out and played. But one day, Ada came down to our house. My mother wasn't there, and we were in the house watching. I remember this too. We were in the house watching Cinderella. The Rodgers and Hammerstein version of Cinderella with Leslie Ann Warren in it. We were watching that, and then she came down, and then we were all just in there, playing around and stuff. Well, she made, she I don't know if she made us or asked us. She just told us to take off our clothes, right? And then we took, and us being boys, we took them off. Well, she started having us hunch on her, rub on her, and she was, even though we was undeveloped, we couldn't get an erection like that where we could be doing penetration and stuff with us. But we were all excited about it. We thought we were having, we was having fun. My little brother, he didn't want to do it at all. That's my other gay brother. He was like totally against it. But me and my older brother, we was like all on it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, with that, I didn't realize it until later on when I was grown that, that was a form of molestation, whatever. But I didn't feel like I was being molested or anything. We were just, I thought we were being boys and just in there, ooh, we get to see, whatever.
Right.
And basically that was my first, that time ever seeing a woman, naked, and then what she was kind of doing to us or whatever. But I guess I didn't see it in that light that I was, that she, because she was 16. but I didn't see it in that light that something bad was happening to me. I didn't realize till I was grown, you know, and even then it just never crossed my mind that I'd probably been molested, you know, whatever. And I participated in it.
Right.
And I didn't have any shock or any dysfunction or anything from it. I went on about, after it was over, we went on about our, we never told our mother.
Right.
I told my mother just a few years ago, and she was just horrified, you know, just horrified. And my younger brother, he doesn't remember it. He said, my older brother, me and him both remember the incident, but my younger brother says he doesn't remember it, doesn't remember doing anything, you know, whatever and stuff, you know, like that. But, you know, women do play with little boys and molest little boys and stuff too. And like I said, I still, even now to this day, I don't feel like I was molested, but you know, maybe I was. But let's see. What is Deshaun saying? Look, I'm gonna tell you, the woman mostly got away with anything because there was a 13-year-old boy that impregnated a 30. Yep, I remember that in California. I read that too, and she never went to jail. Come on now, yeah, and they do come after the men more, you know, than they do the women, and sometimes the women do get off where the men will be prosecuted. Because in our society, they tend to think that it's a rite of passage for men, you know, young boys to sleep with women. They don't look at it the same as when a man is molesting a boy.
Really?
You know, and then
I don't know. I don't know how I don't watch enough court TV, or I haven't read a lot of notes that the court will discriminate like that. I know households that discriminate like that, like you brought up Boosie or whatever. I know a lot of men, when their sons, you know, are sexually active,
yeah,
that's like, you know, yeah, you're a man now, you know. I know of that. I've seen it or what have you. But yeah, it's equal opportunity. Women do it too. I mean, we see it in the news where women have, you know, touched guys or little boys and girls, you know, in a way that they shouldn't be or whatever. We've seen even teachers marrying their students and, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why the court of law would see it that way or whatever. And they probably have. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot of cases like that, but I have seen it, you know, like in like people's households where, you know, if a guy gets some, it's like, oh yeah, but you protect that girl, like you don't want her to have sex until she's married or whatever. You know, you want to, you know, conserve her purity or whatever. Like I don't want you to be touched or nothing like that or whatever. You want her to stay pure or whatever. But a guy, it's like, oh yeah. You know, you that dude now, you that man or whatever. So it's crazy that you have the bias and the double standard or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And so, do you think? So, I think I answered this, you know, a little bit further up. But so, what about you? Do you think like if you're sexually abused, do you become sexually abusive as teens or pedophiles as adults yourself? Do you think most people you know, become pedophiles themselves or grow up and be abusive like that?
I think that something is planted there, you know, because that is a experience that you have had in your life. And if you have to seek professional help to get over that, I think you should. If you're going to try to handle that on your own, I think you really should do the work, because what we don't want to see is this. We don't want to see, just because you were abused, that you go and abuse others. I don't think that is a automatic, that, you know, because I was abused, you know, I'm going to abuse someone. But I think that because that was planted in you, it could grow. So, I mean, you know, if you feel that within yourself, I would urge you to, you know, seek help. um, or talk to someone, or do the homework that you need to do. Resolve that within yourself, so that that particular circumstance doesn't happen. Um, I myself was molested, and I abused anyone.
You abuse me all the time.
Whatever. You probably deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. I know the saying that hurt people, but I think if you get the healing, and if you get if you do the work, and you get the help that you may need, I think you can avoid hurting others. But in society, I mean, well, in this world, we're gonna hurt some people every once in a while. But we shouldn't use the excuse. That shouldn't be an excuse. Well, I was hurt, so I hurt you, or whatever. I get it, because you have not resolved that, or you have not been taught that that's not the way. Because some things we just do, just out of instinct, or that's just the way it's always been done, and you don't realize that you're hurting someone else. So it's like you're innocently doing it, but once that person lets you know, hey, this doesn't make me feel good. This is actually, you know, this is actually hurting me. It's harming me, or whatever. I think we should be open enough to hear that person out and make the steps to, eradicate that behavior that they are saying is hurting them. So yeah, I don't think it's always that. Do you think? Do you think there's an LGBTQ agenda to recruit kids, like adding LGBT education to the school's curriculum? I don't think there's an agenda. I think that there is an awareness that LG. Look, I have to look because it's confused me. LGBTQ people want you to know that we are here and that we exist. I don't think we're trying to push it down your throat or put it in front of your kids or anything like that. I think it's just an awareness and a mutual respect that is wanting to happen in the schools. And that's it. Because when they get out of that school and they go through those school doors, it's not just going to be a heterosexual world. There are going to be encounters with all type of people. So I don't think there's an agenda. I think there's just an awareness that needs to be brought, because I mean, you don't know who your child is going to meet. Their next the person that the kid that they're sitting next to may have two dads, and the person that's behind them may have two moms. So it may come up even with them just talking, playing outside on the swings or whatever. It may just come up. So if they're already teaching it in school that there are family dynamics that may have two dads, two moms, or whatever, then they're already prepared to be like, oh, okay, I get that, I understand, I respect that. May not be my particular, situation, but I see that that's there. So I don't know what the agenda would be to recruit kids. I think that's very, that's demonic.
So Harriet, there is no gay agenda. There has never been a gay agenda. Those are heterosexual talking points, and religious people's talking points. So there has never been a gay agenda. If there's a gay agenda, then there's a straight agenda. So I need to ask you the question: do you think there's a straight agenda to turn gay people from being gay, or to what's that ministry that they have where they want to, take you, the Exodus and all of that type of stuff. That's an agenda. Instead of letting people be who they are, most gay people suppress being gay, until they can't take it no more, or some have committed suicide because they're trying to suppress being gay because of the straight agenda to make gay people not gay. And that includes, when I say gay, queer, it encompasses all of us out there in the gender spectrum.
Yeah.
So no, there is no agenda. I do, but they should have reading material in school, just like they have reading material in school for straight people. They should have something that represents gay people also, so that these kids growing up don't feel so lost or alone or have nothing to relate to. In school, all we knew was straight. You read this book, you have sex education, they're showing you man, women. Well, there needs to be something in there that shows, man with man, women with man, women with women, or whatever, And if it is agenda, that's my liberal agenda, I guess. I believe that that everybody should be learning about everyone and all different type of sexualities and stuff, and it might cut down on some of these suicide rates and these murders and killings and stuff that's happening, or abuse over sexuality. And like I said, I said before, there is a difference between being born gay and then just having sex with somebody. I can go out there and have sex with you, Harriet. It's not going to make me straight.
Right.
So no, there is no gay agenda to recruit kids.
We're not
The kids are who they are. The society is suppressing having these kids suppress who they are. So they can't be who they are. So there's a straight agenda, and there has always been a straight agenda in the United States since it was created over gay, lesbian, or whatever, however you want to put it. I know I'm not a good orator. I don't speak well, but that's the best I can tell you. There is no gay agenda.
Right. We're not a club, and we're not trying to recruit, newbies and have them come in and walk a plank, or we're not trying to, what the fraternities do, the haze and all that kind of. We're not trying to do any of that. I think we just want you to know that we are here. Your children should be aware of it. I mean, you see this in Hollywood. Some of your most, I guess, funniest characters are the Madeires, the Wandas, Shanae. Is that an agenda? I think it's just a form of, a form of acting. It's a form of entertainment, and that. But people, is that an agenda as well? I mean, let people just express, art how they're going to express or whatever. In our sense, it's not art for us. It's just who we are or whatever. And we're not trying to put that on anyone or whatever. But your kids are going to see that not only in schools, they're going to see that when they turn on the TVs. They're going to see that when they walk out the front door. You're not going to always be with your children. But no, I don't believe that we have any kind of gay agenda. But I do want to let children know, and I know children are not watching our show because we have a limit on it. But for those that may see this, and for those that are here, we want to create an environment where if those kids do want to get more information, or if they are gay, that they have a safe place to come. If they do, realize, hey, I am attracted to the same sex. Let's make those safe environments for them to come, or what have you, because you may not always get that in the school or wherever, or even at home.
And so the other thing is this gay agenda thing. If there was a gay agenda, or just say if I had a gay agenda, I have a 20-year-old son getting ready to turn 21. I raised him by myself from birth. Okay, he's straight. Okay, if I had a gay agenda, I would have been out there trying to push some. I don't know what the gay agenda is, but I would be out there trying to push this gay agenda and forcing him to be gay or bisexual,
right,
like me. my household was just like everybody else's household. I got my black ass up and I went to work, paid my bills, raised my kid, put him in, he was in whatever extracurricular activities he wanted to be in. I fed him, he saw me when I had a partner, or whatever. We raised, for the 8 years I was in that relationship, we both raised him, and I took over again after, that relationship ended. My son did not turn out gay. If he did, it would have been okay. If he turned out bi, it would have been okay. I would have loved him no less, no more. I would have still loved him, but I never pushed a gay agenda. That's a false. That's a falsity out there where, people are saying we're pushing, and it's usually, to me, it comes from Christians, right. So-called Christians, where they say we're pushing this gay agenda. Then why is my son not gay then? And I'm the one who raised him. There was no woman in this household. Yeah. He rarely even saw my mother. Sometimes he saw his mother periodically. Throughout the years. Whatever. But and she lives way up in Chicago, so that's only when we went up there to go visit her and his other brothers and sisters. But other than that, he was down here with me, and he's straight. Right. So there's no gay agenda.
And I would like to say I like the fact that Harriet is here, and I think you should stay. You should subscribe and listen to us, because follow us every Sunday. We try to be here every Sunday at 6 o'clock. I think you'll learn a lot from just our dialogue. I think you'll realize that we're just regular people. But again, Harriet, I am so glad you're here. I don't necessarily know what you mean. I kind of know, but I don't really know what you mean by a gay agenda. I'll let you know this for me, and I think I can speak for most gays. We are not.
Don't speak for me.
Well, I'll speak for everyone. We are trying to convert anyone, because I personally don't want to be responsible. First of all, I don't even know how I could convert you to being gay. Like I said, we come from the school that you were born gay. So either you are or you're not. I don't even know how you will begin to convert someone to be something that they're not. I'm not gonna force myself on anyone, because I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to have to fight anybody. I don't want to pressure anyone. It's almost like peer pressure. Well, it's almost like we're selling drugs, like we're the dope dealers. Hey, we got a little gay over here for $15, whatever. Like, we're selling it by the pounds. Here's a little gayness, whatever. No, we're not doing that. You are who you are. And if you present yourself and you come in our little circles, we're going to accept you as you are. We're not going to force anything down your throat or whatever, or change who you are. You present yourself as you are. And I think that's one of the things that heterosexuals or people that are not gay need to understand, that we're not, trying to force anything, just like you should not be trying to force your beliefs on us, your Christianity, your whatever religion. I think you can have a platform and you can say what you have to say, but it's for me to, realize if this is for me, because there's a lot of things that we're on YouTube and Twitter right now. There's a lot of stuff out there that we could be watching, we could be looking at, but you can choose to decide, what you're gonna watch, what you're not gonna watch, or what have you. Same thing. If this is not something that's appealing to you, this lifestyle, then it's okay. But we still can learn from each other. Like, that's why I said, I don't mind that Harriet is here. I want you to come back every week, because as you get to know us, you'll really understand that we're just two Black guys, just like to discuss our experiences. And hopefully there's something said that will either help someone or, educate someone, take it however you take it or whatever. But we enjoy what we're doing. Hey, Kings, thank you.
We're doing good, Chief.
Yeah. But take it how you want to take it. But yeah, we're not trying to force anything down anyone's throat or try to recruit or anything. I think that's sick for anyone to even believe that there is a whole group that has an agenda, especially when it comes to young people, young children, that we would want to do that to anyone. I think that's very sickening. It's almost like that kind of pedophile kind of thing, and I don't like that at all. But,
So here it says, Alvin and Charles, do you find it offensive when people say gay people are mentally ill? Well, it's offensive, but I just kind of go on about my business because I know I'm not mentally ill. And there are genuinely mentally ill people out in the world. So equating being gay with mentally ill, that's to me like equating it with being demonic. It's a falsity.
yeah, I didn't know if people said that, but if they do,
Well, yeah, they used to put people in mental institutions for being gay, whatever. My friend back in Cincinnati, his mother put him in the mental institution, and they did a lobotomy on him because he was gay. And she came across the square when he was twirling his baton, and she caught him, and then she put him in there, and they actually did a lobotomy on him. He was never the same after that. All he did was sit at home after that. All he did was sit at home and take care of her.
Well, I do know people of the school that they believe that, but I've never heard anyone say that to me. So when you say do I find it offensive when people say that, I've never heard it, but I think it's sad that they would think because a person is attracted to the same sex that they're mentally ill. Like what is the illness? What's wrong with that? Love is love.
Yeah. And then
I mean, because if you're gonna go there, then is it offensive to say that people that like dogs are mentally ill? Again, love is love. If you have a pet that you like. I mean, we're just expressing our love in a way that you seem to think is demonic or whatever. Try to understand.
why do you care? Why do people, not you, Harriet, it's just people in general. Why do you care about what my sexuality is? I'm not fucking you. You're not fucking me. Those are in the words of my best friend, Deborah. She says, am I fucking you?
Hey, Deborah, we like that.
So I'm not fucking you. You're not fucking me.
Right.
And so why do you care who I'm having sex with? If it doesn't involve you. And then you're not paying my bills.
Right.
You're not taking care of me. You're not getting me through this life and life and through this world. So why does anybody out there care what my sexuality is if it doesn't directly affect you?
Right.
And I'm not interested in you, and I'm not interested in having sex with you. I'm not even interested in mingling with you, as friends or whatever. Because if I am, then we gonna get along. People, my friends, we all get along well. They ain't not worried about what my sexuality is. If they did, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But why does it bother not all the world, but why does it bother the world, somebody's sexuality, with all the shit that's going on in this world and all the craziness and unhappiness and loneliness that people are in? Why does it affect you? Who or what I'm attracted to or what I have sex with.
Right. I feel the same way. I really don't care what you do in your bedroom. I think that we all have opinions, just like the saying goes, we all have a butthole. But just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that it needs to be stated or that it needs to be said to a person that it may come off offensive, especially if it's not impacting your world at all. Like your light's still gonna be on, you still gonna have your vehicle, you still gonna have your job. It's not impacting your life. Now if you feel like I'm in a life or death situation, I can see you wanting maybe to share your information, but I can tell you this, that being gay is not killing me. I'm okay. I'm all right. You don't have to dial 911. I'm okay. But if so,
Y'all killing me with your oppression.
right. That's what's killing us when you don't let us be who we are, and that's where the battle is because you won't let us express ourselves. You won't let us just be. I mean, so yeah, I really don't understand because I don't care what goes on in your bedroom or what doesn't. Because I don't know what you're doing or not doing.
I might want to watch.
Right. You want right. Y'all know
I might want to watch.
they said that about Alvin. He likes to watch child. But yeah, I don't see. But that's not to say that people cannot have their own views. Have your views all day long. Have your opinions all day long. But I wouldn't use those opinions or views to be offensive to people, especially when I don't really understand.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't understand. So
I don't think they want to understand. They're going off. To me, these views, it all stems from religion. I don't think it stems from anything else. I think it stems from religion, and then, they done got into this man-made created Bible, that was written and rewritten and rewritten, and not even interpreted by this group or that group or this society. It's interpreted differently, depends on who's writing and who's reading it,
right.
whatever. But they get into that and they use that to base their whole judgment on gay people, as if to say, well, God says it's a sin, or whatever. Well, everything in the Bible is a sin. Shit, everything they done is a sin according to the Bible. And all that killing and murder and all the stuff that they done up in there, but they accept all of that type of stuff. But you mentioned gay, and all of a sudden they want to convert you, or they got to do something to save you and stuff. Save your own soul. Save your own soul. Leave mine alone. Let me handle my own or whatever. Right. But I think it's all based off of what they perceive the Bible or what they've been told, what they perceive God, entity or whatever says, and I'm gonna go back to it again. If that's true, Harriet and anybody else out there, then why are we still here? If it was such an abomination to God, okay, and he supposedly destroyed Sodom because of it or whatever, well, gay people were still all over the other place or whatever. They're in Rome, everywhere, Egypt, kings and queens, everybody was sleeping with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Then go destroy the rest of the gays. Why are we still here? And why are we still being made by straight people?
See, they don't even believe that, because every time you say that, I just think about all the other things that they deem as sin. That nothing. If that's the case, then you say, why are we still here? Then why are the drug? I mean, what? All the other stuff is still. Why are the whoremongers still here? Why are the gossipers still here? Everything that they deem sin. So they don't even believe that.
They don't believe that because why would gossiping be a sin? Why is being a whoremonger a sin? It's your body. As long as you're not being forced or coerced into it. If you want to sell your body or do what you want with your body, then and you're of age and you can make that type of decision. Do what? Why would that affect? Or
child molestation, or adultery, or divorce. People think divorce is a sin. I mean, there's so many things. All the the things that they deem as sin. If they really felt that God was so much against that and that he could just wipe it all away, then I could kind of see. But like you said, we're still here, not just the gays, but all the other stuff that you categorize as sin.
But so you take child molestation, so you take molestation and there's other things. But then that you take that, and the reason why I can see where that could be wrong is because you're hurting someone else. Okay, when you're molesting a child or you're raping a person or you physically abusing a person, then you're hurting someone else.
But that's not the only sin. Drunk drivers, they hurting people. I mean, there's a lot. What I'm trying to say is that whatever they're deeming as sin, it's still here. We're not just a gay thing or whatever, but it's still here. So they don't believe that themselves, because if that was the case, then they would say get rid of all of this other stuff,
Right.
because they're still
Destroy the planet.
basically destroying the planet. Basically, just destroy the planet, because gay, and I'm using it in quotations, is not, in their minds, it's not the only thing that is harming society. That may be one of the big things, and you hear it in the pulpits or whatever, but there's so many other things or whatever.
And they don't stop. Well, if everything's a sin and all the the gossip, what you're saying, the gossip and stuff, they don't stop it. They're still gossiping about people. They sit in church and gossip about
it. Because there's a scripture in Romans, and I wish I could pull it up, but that lists all this stuff that says all these people will have their time in the lake of fire or whatever. But if you really believe that, then why aren't you going, as much as you want to convert us for the gay thing, why don't you go just as hard for all that other stuff, whatever?
Because it's easy to bash the gays, and you can make money off of it. Especially, all you got to do is mention something gay, and then people they can fundraise off of it. The church can get their little offering, and so. It's an easy thing.
I do want to, so I brought this up because I do want to say something about this. Then I want to tell you guys, because the reason why we're having this discussion, or what I wanted to share my story. I wish you could experience heterosexuality and encounter the biblical God.
Hey, Bimbo.
It's a different frequency. So if you are not here for the beginning of the show, we both did explain that we have had heterosexual sex and heterosexual relationships. Hey, everybody that's come in, there's a lot of people here. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for joining and liking, and subscribing, and sharing. So you don't have to wish that we experienced it. We have, and we found out what we really like and are attracted to. And I want to say to Deshaun, you are dropping so many nuggets or whatever. I actually would like for you to become to be a guest on our show. And because he's dropping. I think you may be a guy. I don't know. But I'll say that you're dropping a lot of good pointers and nuggets. Even with the judicial system, you were bringing about a lot of stuff that's happening in a lot of different states or whatever. I really like that. I think you would be a good guest with all the the stuff that you're dropping in the comments. I like that.
If you want to come in and talk to us now, you can. We can pull you into our studio live if you want to. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, or you can if you would like, but we can send you the link.
Yeah,
we put the link in there again, and anybody who wants to come in and join, they can.
But every week when we decide what we're going to talk about, of course we want to talk about things that impact our lives, being Black, gay, being part of the community, also things that may be trending or whatever, or things that we've experienced. So each week we decide, we go over like what we want to talk about or whatever. And I think I've mentioned this a few times. It's come out different ways, because I always want to talk about something that I kind of know about, but I'm not opposed to actually doing a show to where I learn as well. And even in this, I'm learning. So thank you guys for joining, and even Alvin, because we don't think the same, and he brings out stuff that I may not have ever heard before, even considered. So this is all good for me. But I give him a list of things to talk about. And I guess one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because me growing up in the household that I grew up in, I don't know, it's kind of crazy that my life turned out to be like this. And I know it's probably a similar story to a lot of you guys out there, or someone that probably have had this similar upbringing or what have you. But when I was, I just told Alan this story the other day. I guess when I was like maybe 6th grade, 7th grade, I was molested. And I guess molestation comes in a lot of different forms, you know. It doesn't always have to be penetration or whatever. So I will say I was not penetrated, but I still had, you know, all the things that come with molestation or whatever. It was by a family friend, actually went a family church friend or what have you. And I was walking home from school, and the person wanted to come in and use the restroom. I didn't see a problem with that because I know you. I mean, I know your brother is actually my one of my best friends. So it wasn't an issue for me to let you in my house and let you use the restroom. I mean, I don't want you to pee on yourself. And nothing in my mind, and I'm thinking about this, I never thought about this. Nothing in my mind thought that just whip the thing out and pee. Because I know I do. I don't know about y'all, but I will, baby. If I have to stop it, you know, I could be driving down the road, and if I really have to pee, back, I will pull over and find some kind of trash can or a tree or something. And it never occurred to me that I could just say, "But just go pee in the bushes." But I let them in the house, and I probably was. I'm sure I was told not to let people in the house, but because it was family friend, church friend, I didn't, you know, I didn't see an issue with it. So I let this particular person in the house. He called me into the bathroom, told me to lay down or whatever. I don't know what caused me to just follow all these instructions or whatever. But I did what he asked me to do. And he got on top of me and just started, you know, grinding or frothing or whatever you want to call it, bumping and grinding, R. Kelly. But yeah, so he did his thing on me. You know, we wiped all that off. And then he went his merry way or whatever. And I want to say this probably happened more than once. I don't think I told him it, but I think it happened more than once or whatever, but in different locations. Um, but at that young of an age, really didn't know anything about sex, didn't know anything about being gay or nothing like that or whatever. All I know is that I had an experience, and that experience to me was not bad or good. It wasn't. It just wasn't. So I didn't know where to place it. All I know is it happened. What I can tell you is that seeing another dude's body and he was older than me. He was in high school. Seeing another dude's body did like open my eyes to like, oh shit. It was like I would say maybe an attraction started. I would say an attraction started there. But of course, because of the way I was raised, I'm attracted to girls. And I say attraction, at the time, that wasn't even a word. But I'm just telling you the feelings or whatever. Now that I can look back at it, that's what was happening. But you know, I grew up where the attraction should have been towards girls, but because of this, now I'm seeing a dude, and I'm looking at dudes differently. So from that point on, I looked at dudes differently. Did I want to be with a dude, and that's all I looked at? No, because even after that, I had girlfriends. You know, I had sex and all that kind of stuff. Even after that, but girls were not the only species or gender that I was looking at. I was also looking at guys as well or whatever, because I always wanted to know like what's under those clothes because of this or whatever. In no way, like, 'cause going back to the beginning, I believe I was born gay. In no way do I believe that situation made me gay or turned me gay. It just let me know that I have more than one attraction. Because at that time, I can't really say I was attracted to girls. I was just following suit. Later on, when I understand what attraction is, yes, I am attracted to girls. Not so much anymore. I mean, I still think, women are attractive. I love what all the women bring to the table or whatever, but being with someone sexually and dating or whatever, no, I don't even want to mess up your life like that, because I'll probably be with you one day and be with him the next day. So, don't want that. But that's what happened to me. And a lot of people will say, because of that, that's why you're gay. And I'm going to tell you that it's not. Because, like we said before, there's data that shows that people have been molested and are straight as, alive or whatever. But that's not always the case. I mean, as far as what a person was born, I was born gay. And so, I mean, I really believe that moment, that little moment in my life had nothing to do with my, what is it, sexuality or whatever. I don't think that determined it or whatever. I know some may think that, but I don't think, and I don't think I chose. Now, like I said before, I was in a school of thought that said, uh, I've chosen this only because religion was telling me, this is not the way you should be. So I must be choosing it or whatever, because I didn't think I was possessed with no demon or anything like that. And, we prayed and we done the all, we done spoken tongues, we done all that. But I'm still attracted to dudes or whatever. So that was really the basis of us having this conversation. And I know it's a big thing because a lot of people, really believe that there is something that can happen to you, like genetics, the environment, and it goes on and on. If you were raised with two dads or two moms, or if your dad was not in the home, or if your mom was not in the home, that that's why you're a certain way. But I mean, there's data after data after data that proves that this is not always the case. There's so many different things that could result in who you are today. And my thing is, don't ever disqualify those things. Take every experience and live in those moments or what have you. But I just want to say that regardless of my past and what I've been through, I really believe I'm gay, and I was born gay, and there's nothing that happened to me or persuaded me to be any other thing than who I am. So that's why we're having this conversation. Um, you said, can gay people change their sexual orientation or gender identity? Um, hmm, I don't think you can change it other than if you feel like you're something, and I guess I'm talking like from, I guess, a trans point of view. I guess, like, if a trans person feels inside, they really feel inside that they were born in the wrong body, but that's not sexual orientation. But I guess that would be gender. You know, then I guess, yeah, you can. If you feel like, because I mean, I've heard some of them say, hey, even though I was born in this physical body, in this, we'll say male, in this male body, I really believe I'm a female. You know what I mean? And so they take the process to change that, or they just see themselves in that light or whatever. And like we said before, we respect those people and we call them by whatever pronouns they want to be called by. You love them just the same. It's no disrespect whatsoever. Who are we to say who a person is, or how they feel that they are, or whatever. So, but as far as sexual orientation, I think that's just something that you're just you're born with. I don't think you can actually change it. But as far as identity, yeah, I think you can, because trans, they're doing it, and I applaud them because that's very bold. That's very bold, and the way society is, because society will say, and I just watched a video the other day where bio women, cis women, whatever you want to be called, they really have an issue with that, and even like the sports thing, trans women entering sports and whatever, it's really an issue with that. So for a trans person to actually come out and say, hey, this is who I am. I applaud them for that. I really do applaud the courage or whatever, because this world can be so awful and mean or whatever. So I applaud you for that, for being able to stand up in your truth.
So I got this question up. Here. It says, "Do we need to know why in order to accept ourselves?" So, do we need to know why we're gay? If we were born gay, or if it's environmental, or if it's due to molestation? Do we really need to know why? Do we have to have the answer to that question in order for us to like accept ourselves and be happy homos? Do we need to know, like, do you have to go and search for that answer in order for it to fulfill your I don't know if it's curiosity or need to know why you were born gay? Or can we just be happy that we are gay? We were born gay, or however we got here. That's just I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it to say you got that way because you were molested. That hurts me to hear that. But as far as like being born gay, why can't we just accept that we're, I know we go through, society puts us through this rigorous.
And that's the issue. That's why,
it's
to
like,
me, that's the only reason why you would have this question, is if for you to even wonder why, is because of what society has said, or because of what religion has said, or whatever. Because if you're just you, why would you even question that? And I know this is probably I don't know, it's probably just totally opposite or whatever, because there's a difference between sexuality and then your race or whatever. But when I see the question like that, I'm like, well, do I question why I'm black? Do I question why I'm this? I mean, in that case, we're just going to question everything or whatever. But I don't see you questioning this unless you been brought up or told that there's something wrong with being who you actually are. Because I mean, why? I don't question. I don't think the questions arise until someone has made you feel bad for being who you are.
They can make you feel like that for being black too. They question black, and they use that in the Bible also as a form of slavery and discrimination, and to harm people and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Society, how they look down on different ethnicities and stuff, like that, because of the color of your skin.
Right.
So they can use the Bible they used it back in slavery time, and they use it now to justify why why the races can be separate, why some white people believe they're the superior race, or whatever. And then just like blacks believe that we're the race, the original people, everybody stemmed from us, which there's if you go off of science, there is the proof out there that they have the bones and stuff, like that from
Mm-hmm.
when humans actually did come into existence. It wasn't in no damn Garden of Eden, but you can believe that if you want to. But they use that, but is heterosexuality actually the norm? Just because you can procreate doesn't mean that that's actually the norm. With all the different people in this world and all the different sexualities and the genders and then the how people describe themselves, with all of this, and our new awakening of all of this stuff that's going on in the world, and our knowledge and stuff that we're learning about the Bible, human sexuality, and all of this stuff, why do we still think why is heterosexuality the norm? To me, I'm the norm. To me being gay is norm. It's normal to me. It's not abnormal. And then I can look at homosexuality the same way that heterosexuals look at us. Not all of them. So when I'm talking, I'm not talking in like for everyone. I'm just talking in generalizations. But because everybody doesn't think that, believe that. But for a lot of the population out there, they do think that heterosexuality is the norm and that gay is abnormal. Like Harriet was saying, That's not just her opinion. There's lots of people out there with that view.
Mhm.
But I'm born gay, so that's normal to me. It's not abnormal. So to me, heterosexuality would be abnormal because I'm not heterosexual. And I wasn't born heterosexual. So that's abnormal to me. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but for me to be homosexual, to be heterosexual, that would be abnormal to me. And then if you believe, for those, in entities and God and stuff, like that, then that means I would be abnormal to God. Right now, I'm not abnormal to God because this is how He made me. But if I try to be heterosexual, that would make me abnormal.
I don't even look at it like I don't even look at norm and abnormal. I know that heterosexuality is what we see a lot more, or that's what's shown, or whatever. And I guess it just depends on how you were raised and where your environment or whatever. Because it may be someone that says, "Well, all I saw was gay people, so that was my norm or whatever."
Right.
But I don't even look at what's normal. I just come and present whatever you are. Just present yourself as that. But I do know that in most cases, that's what we see. And when I say see on a broad scale, it would have to be the television or the movie theaters even the internet, because naturally in my little state right here, I can only see what's right before me or whatever. So I can only tell you what's on my street, on my neighborhood, in my school, at my job, in my city, in my state, or whatever. But when I look at the world globally, when I can get to see it on the TVs and the internet or what have you, yes, you see that push. When I was growing up, Cosby Show, man, wife, kids. Just all the little shows. Leave It to Beaver, the man, the wife. That's what we saw. So if you go by that, then yeah, that's what society has pushed as the norm. Now we're in a day and time where we are seeing more of, the modern family, which is I love that show. By the way, he would have all the dynamics of the different families, and we saw the Will and Graces, and there's other shows too. I can't remember all of them, where we are now kind of being incorporated or whatever. Would society as a whole say that's the norm? They probably still would not say that, but at least we do have that space, or that representation out there to say, hey, we're here. But yeah, like you say, I would be the norm, but I'm not gonna just put that out there to say, and I know you're not saying that everyone has to be like me. I just don't even look at it at that. I just respect, if you're this way, you're this way. If I'm this way, I'm that way. And that's what it is. So yeah.
And then so what about intersex? Okay, because intersex people can be born with both sex organs. They can be internal or external. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you are you saying they're abnormal? Whatever, because then as they grow or whatever, then they choose what they want to be. So if they say that I'm heterosexual, then they're heterosexual. If they say that I'm homosexual, or whatever, or I'm this, that, or the other, then that's what they are. Because they have both sexes, but it's the internal psyche, their emotions, their internal psyche that is dictating what they are, not their sexual organs.
Right.
Now they may use their sexual organs later in life, but when they're born either internally or externally with the same thing. Did God make a mistake, or does that make them abnormal? Or make them sinful because they were born that way, or whatever.
And see, for the intersex person, I can kind of see why, if we're referring to the original question, why I need to know, do I need to know why in order to accept myself? I can kind of see where they might have a question, only if their environment is not like lifting them up, or kind of like, letting them be okay with what's going on. If you're in a society that deems who you are as a mistake or as demonic or whatever, then I can see you may have questions that may like, how do I accept myself? Because what you guys are telling me, I shouldn't be this way or whatever. So I can kind of see where they may need that validation or whatever, but it all depends on how your environment is. Like, the people that are around you or your parents affirming you and letting you know, baby, you are perfect just the way you are. And, whatever way we have to go with this, whatever you choose or whatever, it's fine but you're perfect just the way, you are or whatever. But I can kind of see them maybe needing some validation to accept themselves if they're not in that environment that affirms them as being who they are.
Would you prefer? I mean, I've heard this before, and I've heard people answer it. So if you could take a pill, or if there was something, a wand, the fairy godmother came in and wand, gave you a wish or something, or you could take a pill, would you take the pill so you could be straight, or would you stay gay?
For me,
or change whatever your sexual orientation is. What would you take that pill?
Like for me, I would only say I wouldn't be taking that pill for me, because me being who I am, I don't see where my sexuality has caused, I don't see where it's been a bad or good. Like it's just life. Like my life has just been life. If I was straight, I think my life would still be. I don't see the advantages or disadvantages of being one or the other. I think you just live life. That's gonna be your good times. There's gonna be your bad times. You're gonna have the happy times. You're gonna have the sad times. You're gonna have the ups. You're gonna have the downs. So I don't see. So if I was to take the pill, I wouldn't be taking it for me. I would be taking it for other people. I'll be taking it for my parents because my parents want me to have kids. I'll be taking it for my parents because they're concerned how society is going to treat me, how they're going to react to me or whatever. I'll be taking it for them. I'll be taking it for the girl that thinks you're my husband and I want to be with you. But no, I'm not going to be a good husband because I don't even want, what I mean? I'll be taking it for all the wrong reasons. So for me, personally, I would not be taking it. But if I chose to take it, it would not be. So I would be living a lie because I'm only taking it because of you and how you feel. And so I'm living a life that you want me to live, but it's my life. So let me just be who I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the pill. I wouldn't do the little bond. I'm perfectly happy and satisfied being exactly who I am. Just gay people, queer in the queer LMNOP community, we have our ups and downs, our happies, our sads, our highs, our lows, just like everybody else in society.
Right.
Taking a pill will not take that away. You're still going to have whatever good or bad or indifference for what's going to happen in this world. So no, I would not take a pill. I would not take it for my friends. I would not take it for my parents, or anybody to make them comfortable, to make them happy or comfortable.
Right.
I have to be happy for myself,
Right.
So, and why should I make myself uncomfortable to make you comfortable?
Right.
Then you need to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Why I got to sit up there on therapy and stuff, like that, because you're uncomfortable with, who I am or whatever. Then, you take a pill then, or whatever, but, I wouldn't take it for anybody. And then I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable just to make you comfortable.
Right.
And I can love you to death. I can love my people, like I said, if I didn't come from that type of family, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. But if it did, then you're going to have to make yourself uncomfortable because I'm not gonna make myself uncomfortable, to make so you can be happy that I'm sitting over here miserable,
Right.
or whatever. And then taking the pill is not, then I'm gonna end up with all the heterosexual issues and stuff that they have, because they have just as many. We all have issues and ups and downs.
And it's sad to think
So
that a
pill
family
not gonna
member
do
would want
anything.
you to take something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
like why would you
Well,
want me to not be myself?
Some people say that they would take the pill because they think that being heterosexual would be easy. They think it'll be easier on them, or whatever, and then they wouldn't have to deal with the stigmatism or the ones who are in the closet or on the DL and stuff, like that. They wouldn't have to deal with that hurt and shame and pain, or whatever. But what they don't realize is, once you take the pill, then you're going to deal with all the stuff that comes with being heterosexual, and they got just as many issues. We're no different. We have this, we all have some of the same, some of the different issues and stuff anyway. So
It's almost like the question they say, if it was a choice, would you choose to be gay or straight?
that's the same. That's what I'm
And
asking.
yeah, and I can see how some people may come to that when they say that there's extra stuff. And see, the reason why I can't agree with it is because I've never gone through any that I know of that I can think of right now. I've never gone through anything where, because of my sexuality, that I went through something extra that I wouldn't go through. Like, I didn't get beat up. I've never got beat up or abused for being gay. I've never, and I'm kind of almost equating this to like being black in America. How in the same questions I've heard people ask, if you had the choice, would you be white or black or whatever? And so I'm kind of basing it on that. I've never, like, black people got beat. I've never got beat for being gay. I never, to my record, to my recognition of my what I can remember, I don't think I've ever been discriminated because of gay. I mean, I can see it in its subtle ways or whatever, but it never was like so impactful that, because I'm like, it was more, to me, it was more being black. The spaces that I've been in where it was a little, layer of discrimination, it wasn't really about because I was in gay environments. So gay wasn't the issue. It was the black. It was more the black being the issue. So it's like I don't think that being gay brings any more issues or problems or confrontation than being straight for me, because I haven't been in any like really bad situations just because I'm gay. So that's why I wouldn't change it. I know, but then you have the other people that may think, well, no, because I was gay, I got beat up. Because I was gay, I got teased. Because I was, so they may want to,
straight people get bullied all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a person's choice. If you want to take the pill because of that, then that's you. And I can see where you would have the reasons. And if those are your reasons, then by all means. I mean, I can't tell you whether or not to take it, but for me, that I don't. Probably if I had gone through those, I may be on the side of maybe I would take it. But those things have never happened to me. I've never been, ran out of town because I'm gay, or my house has been set on fire because. And so I don't, I haven't, because of my sexual identity, it hasn't brought on anything other than what anybody else will go through. But I know there are some that, they actually been terrorized. Yeah. So they may be tempted to, or they may have valid reasons to take the pill. But that hasn't been my story. But I can see, the other side as well.
Yeah, I love my heterosexual family, my heterosexual friends, but I don't see anything that's what's special about being heterosexual. You know what I mean? So yeah. So now let's talk about, we get into like the genetics of it or whatever. What about like the gay twins? Like one is gay, the other is not, or sometimes both of them come out gay and their parents are gay, and then their other siblings say they have other siblings. I mean, their parents aren't gay, their parents are straight, but then they have other siblings, and their other siblings came out, they're straight, but then these two twins, sometimes they come out both gay or bi, and there's some of them where one's gay and one's bi, and then there's other ones where one is gay and the other is not. I don't have the answer to this, but what do you think about that? Like gay twins, triplets, and quadruplets, or whatever, and then like one or two is gay and the other two are not, or three of them are and one is not. Environment. I mean, and you think if it was the environment, then just say then the one that's born, the one that's gay, you would think with his other brothers and sisters and his other twin that is straight, that it would sway him to be straight also.
I think the only thing that proves
but it doesn't.
I think the only thing that this proves is that it's not always one way or
way or the other.
It's gonna be, you can't say because I grew up with one, my twin that happens to be gay, that's gonna automatically make me gay, or because the one twin is straight, that's gonna make the other twin straight. They're both gonna live their individual lives. They're both are going to, do whatever, and even though, because I guess twins do share the same genes or whatever. So even it you can't even base it on science, because science will say if you have the same makeup, then you should be the same. But then why is one gay and one straight or whatever?
Chief, he has me cracking up. He ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? He is not having it. He just comes right out. No, I ain't taking a damn. But I've read some of his, I've read some of his stuff, and he subscribed to our channel, and and I commented on a couple of his stuff, and then subscribed to his channel also. But yeah, he, when I read one of his other comments that he had posted, I was like, he ain't having it. He even said, we need to go out there and get take trading classes, because we ain't playing with these straight folks. That's what he said. What he said, you need to. Be prepared, but I'm not on that part of it. But he is saying a lot of good stuff. Let's see what Harriet is saying here.
No, go back up. Say something up there.
Alvin and Charles, would you accept your gay son or daughter? Yeah, if my son, or I don't have a daughter, but if my son said he was gay, I would accept him 100%. It's not accepting. It wouldn't even cross my mind to not accept him or whatever, and it wouldn't even be an issue. We wouldn't even have to talk about it. He is what he is. So, unless he wanted to talk about it, but it wouldn't be nothing. It's just like me. I ain't never had that conversation with my family. Whether I was gay or straight or anything. Whatever I am, whatever I do, whatever, they accept it, as long as I'm not harming anybody.
I don't even understand the question really, but I will say that Harriet's. I'm just gonna say I don't really understand it, because for me, if you're looking at two gay people, and you're saying, will we accept our gay son or daughter? To me, that's almost like saying you don't accept yourself. So yeah. But what I do want to touch on her other question.
I put up earlier?
Oh, I don't know if you put it up. I didn't see it. But the one about being a bottom or something.
Yeah, I put that up and took it right back down.
Yeah, because I
don't have anything to do with this conversation.
Yeah, Harry, just keep watching us. I think you should just keep watching us, get to know us, and I think you would.
You'd be surprised that bottoms do not have erectile dysfunction. And some bottoms, if some of them will flip and they will, be verse or top.
I wish we could have.
It's another stereotype.
I wish Harry would come on the show or tell us a little bit more about her, because she said a lot of stuff that people say, and a lot of things that she say that people say, I've never heard these things.
I've heard
or whatever. I've never heard, and I wonder, is she even in the LGBT? Because who are these people that you're hanging around that say these offensive things about gay people, Do you find offensive when people say, who are these people that say bottoms have erectile dysfunction? But you're saying that gay people are demonic. So why are you even hanging around people that would even say something like this? Because it would have to be a gay person to even know what a bottom is. Oh, but I guess in this daytime, the terminology is out there. But they would have to be sexually active in gay sex to even know that a bottom could even experience, because you can be a top and have erectile dysfunction or whatever. So yeah, my liquor is talking. But Harriet, I do like that you're here, and I wish I knew more about you and where these questions are coming from and who these people that you're hanging out around with.
Birds of a feather flock together. So Harriet says, Alvin and Charles, how do you feel about African countries rejecting homosexuality? Not all African countries reject homosexuality, just like a lot of other countries don't reject homosexuality. There's different countries inside of Africa that where they fully accept it, or or they have different rituals and rites of passage and stuff for people who are considered homosexuality. Some of them are chiefs, some of them are their doctors and stuff, like that. They're medicine doctors, that they rely on, like some of the ones who are eunuchs, or some who are lesbian or bisexual or trans and stuff, like that. And then there are those that do reject it, and they have put people to death or put them in jail, or whatever. But as far as African, there's lots of Africans that are gay, bisexual, whatever. And a lot of them are still in Africa, and a lot of them are still over here also. They may hide it a little bit more than we do here. But I think it's bad that for the ones who are rejecting it, but they still do that here. We still have it in our country where a lot of people reject it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good thing. So, and so we talked about the little triplets. So that I don't, it can be it. I think if it's just, I think it's genetics still, whatever. But there are influences, environmental influences and stuff. But if it was so much the environment, then that means we would all be swayed one way or the other,
right?
And we're not. We're all over the damn place,
right?
So anyway, and we talked about that. We talked about, when did you first recognize you were homo, bi, or hetero? We talked about that. We talked about that early on in our thing. Anybody else out there who want to comment or whatever, or or later, the ones who are watching this later, send in your comments.
So for me, I don't know if I finished my story, but because of the molestation, I started looking at it a little bit different. I had friends that always, just wondered. And we've kind of had our experience. I told Alvin some of them this week. Well, where we experienced a little stuff that was kind of like, but we were boys, someone else, I was watching another video. It was like, and I guess straight people, and at the time, I guess I was straight. I didn't know I was gay or whatever. They have this thing where, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. I mean, it's just the way boys are, I even had a cousin that at this point, I didn't even know what cum was. And I hope it's not too graphic for anybody. I didn't even know what cum or nut was or whatever. And I guess he had discovered it. And he showed me. Or what, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, it's just some boys do. We like, you just experiment or whatever. But at some point, I guess you realize what you really like or whatever. And that particular cousin has a wife and kids or whatever. So, he chose that route, or he figured out that that's who he was or whatever. For me, I think I guess it was when I really had my first boyfriend, when I just knew that I was, that I was gay. I mean, I always had the attraction, but I never acted upon it, I guess. That was my first time really acting upon it and really solidifying in myself that, you know what, I'm gay. I'm gay or whatever, because I'm actually going to the point of having a boyfriend or whatever, or even dating a guy that I didn't even date. And this was like college age or whatever, because I had never even gone to my first gay club until college. And the gay club had been in Dallas all this time. I didn't know anything about it. The Metro, I miss you, Metro. Then Elm and Pearl, I miss that. I miss you guys or whatever. But yeah, I had no idea. And I'll tell you, when I went in that club, it was like, you know how you see those movies and a person goes into wherever and you like hear the angels, oh, that's how it was when I went into the Metro. When I went in there, it was like, oh, because I was like, oh, I'm home. This is family. This is where I belong. It was like, I don't know. It was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I felt no judgment. I felt love. I felt like this is family. Like they get me. They understand me. And I hadn't talked to not one person. All I went on was just the environment and how it looked and how these were all dudes that supposedly were attracted to each other and all had one purpose, one mind. The same reasons why you may join a church or you may, decide to work for a certain, the way you may decide to work for a company or whatever, because you're of the same mindset. You like what they have to offer. And that's how it was when I went in there. I was like, this is where I want to be. This is where I belong or whatever. So yeah, you eventually get to that point, and I eventually got there, and that solidified it for me. I see. So, but yeah, these questions. What, Deshaun, you think about coming on this show because
he put it down.
okay, so
but even Harry, I mean,
I said the invitation to her too.
It causes you to, I mean, I was going to say it causes you to think, but not. It doesn't cause me to think because I've already known about that type of stuff, or whatever. But it's good question.
It causes the discussion. I think it causes the discussion, and it also causes, enlightenment, because a lot of people like she said, I believe she's a she. A lot of people really are of the school of thought that we have mental illness. And that's why I say continue to watch us, because you will see that we're just normal people that are attracted to the same sex. And I personally don't believe that's an issue. You can base it on your religious beliefs or whatever, but I don't even think Jesus is that way. I think he gets to know people. I mean, he was around people or whatever, and he got to know them. He didn't even ask them to change. If they changed, they changed. But he didn't force nothing down their throats or whatever. So I think just getting to know us, you will be able to just value what you get from here. You'll be able to coexist, and it'd be okay. Even if we don't see eye to eye on every little thing, you'll still see that we're part of humanity. We're not hurting anyone. I mean, we don't have any gay kids locked down in the basement, or we're not trying to convert nobody. We're just living our lives. Yeah. So,
and then my last one, and then we'll let everybody go here. Or you can leave. They pop in and pop out. But so. We already answered some of this questions, but we didn't answer the one, what about the animals? Did you, most animals on the planet, even though they'll mate for procreation, a lot of them are bisexual.
How do I show this? You're talking about show.
You have to put it in StreamYard. I mean, you have to go to your share thing. Go down to share. Go down here where it says, right down here where it says present. Okay. Present. Click on present.
And then share screen.
And then share your screen.
Okay.
And then go over there. and then go over there and find which one you want to share. You got a lot of stuff on there, so don't click on your porn. I don't think Harriet wants to see all your porn popping up on the screen in front of her face, or she might like it. I don't know.
It's in my notes. I don't see it as an option.
Oh, if it's in your notes, I don't know how to do that. You're gonna have to share your other thing. Then you're gonna have to share.
Entire screen. Well, you know what? I can do this because it is I do have a desk. Well, no, that's something else. That's the
yeah. You can go to your notes, but you know, pull up. You got to pull up your notes and then go click share your screen. But you got to pick the right one. Sorry,
okay.
Sorry, people. We're still learning all this.
Okay, so I'm back to streaming. Okay, I do what? I don't know what's wrong. Do what now?
So share. Go down to present.
I'm there.
Okay, and then go find it. Go to where it says present, and then go slides or go to share screen, and then it should find up in there. Go to window or entire screen or window. One of those should pull up that file that you have. If you have it pulled up,
Okay, so it's showing that, right? So what is that you have over there?
It's not showing.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, well, we can probably put it up later then, and maybe talk about it another time. But you did have it like all the different animals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So but what about the animals? We see. I watch a lot of nature programs and all the time, but a lot of the animals are bisexual. There's some animals that don't even mate with women. I mean, with the females at all. Because some of it they don't get a chance to. Because some of it is dominance and they fight. And who's going to be able to mate. So some animals go through their whole life and never mate with females at all. They just hang around with the other males and they'll mount each other. They rub up against each other. They follow each other. Like penguins, there's some penguins that will never mate with a female. It'll be two males, and they'll take an egg or something that was abandoned or whatever, and then they'll hatch that egg out themselves and raise that chick, themselves. You know what I mean? As two males. There's also animals, organisms in the world, in the population, whatever on this earth that are unisex. Some of them have both sex, or some of them have one sex. They'll change into another sex. They can change from a female to a male or a male to a female, depending on what's going on in their, with their hormones or their environment, or if they're trying to mate or not mate or whatever. But dolphins, they're always trying to have sex with each other, and they're males. They're always trying to poke each other and do all other type of stuff, just like rams. There's some rams that never ever mate with a female. They only prefer to be around other, and so if God created everything on the earth, why do we have homosexual animals? Even though we're animals too, but why do we have homosexual animals? Why do we have bisexual animals too? Why not get rid of all of them too? If everything was about procreation,
right?
And then what about women and men who can't procreate? Because some women can't have babies. Some men can't produce sperm that can impregnate a woman. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
That makes them gay.
Does that make them a eunuch or gay or whatever? What is So if it's all about procreation and man is supposed to be with women, what about these people who cannot procreate? Where do we throw them into the LMNOP, LGBTQIA plus, whatever LMNOP community?
Right.
Are they in with us, or do y'all still accept them in the heterosexual world because they can't procreate? And then is that sinful that they cannot procreate?
Right.
So, anybody got any answers out there?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, Alvin and Charles, do you attend church? I don't know why. What does that have to do with anything, Harriet, whether I attend church or not?
I watch it online. Now you have a follow-up question to that? Okay.
And Cecil says, I don't know why I'm gay. I just know that I'm proud to be, even though it can be an inconvenience sometimes. I think, yeah, I mean, being straight can be an inconvenience sometimes too. But people, you know, I told, and then I told my mother. I told my mother long ago there's a mixture of why I'm gay: social reasons, biological reasons, and you're right. There is no right answer for this. You know what I'm saying? Scientists they look into it, they and stuff like that, but even they don't have all the answers and stuff. I do think it's just biological. I think there could be, since the woman is the one who carries our egg and stuff like that, and we're all female, up until a certain point. Everything starts off as female. So somewhere in there, some of the hormones or something can. I'm not saying that's what it is, but maybe the hormones went this way, or or XX this and YY that, and whatever might have crossed or something, or crossed the wrong way, or maybe there was some stress or something going on, or who knows what, or there could have been a hormonal imbalance or whatever, and it could have been nothing. It could be that's just the way nature is. It's made for some people to be gay, some to be bisexual, some to be trans, some to be this, some to be that, some to be heterosexual. It's just, maybe that's just the way life was intended.
Yeah.
And since none of us know God, none of us know God, and none of us have been to heaven and back. I know there's people who say that they've died and experienced it or whatever, but you can believe that if you want to. But since none of us know for sure, then we can't really answer that question. And then we shouldn't be hating and discriminating and excluding people for something we don't have the answer to, just because we're going off of a book that people wrote saying this is what God said. None of us know what God said. If for those who believe in God or higher entities or whatever, none of us really know what God has said or whatever, because we're going off of a book that was written, by a whole bunch of fallible people. And some of them were illiterate and couldn't really write anyway, or half of them, and a lot of it is hearsay. So let's see. Right, says so. Let's see what else he says. I think everyone is at least bisexual. I kind of believe that too. I think we all are on this spectrum. I believe that there are some people who are 100% homosexual. There are some people 100% heterosexual. But I think, sexuality is fluid. To me, it's fluid, and it can change. You can be this, whatever. And then sometimes it could be environmental factors or something that can come into play. And then you might, experiment with just say you're gay, and you might experiment with a woman or whatever, or you want to try it or whatever. So to me, I'm like with Cecil, it can be fluid. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm gay, and I have, messed around with bisexuality and stuff, like that. I didn't go out saying I was bisexual, because I knew I was really more attracted to men than I am women, But I believe that most people probably they fall on the spectrum of bisexuality. They just don't want to say that or admit it, because people have curiosities, and sexuality is fluid, and you could be turned on or experiencing something at this moment that would lead you to go do this that's out of your norm, as far as like being gay or 100% gay or 100% straight. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I agree with it. I agree with so I think everyone is at least bisexual. I don't believe can be turned gay. People are born to explore and like what they find to like. Yes, and now with this younger generation too, they're exploring more. They're not as inhibited, and closed-minded about sexuality, gender, or religion and stuff as as our parents and grandparents and stuff that came before us are. They're a little bit more open.
I go with that when you said that people explore, because we just said it in the further in the beginning, that just because you sleep with a woman doesn't mean that you're straight. So I would even put the bisexual status on anyone either. I would say maybe more fluid or whatever. I just think that you just figure out what you like or whatever. But I won't put a label on until you're just sure. But I think people can go anywhere.
So you say that again. You wouldn't put a label on sexuality.
Like I don't like he says. I think everyone is at least bisexual, and you like, yeah, I agree with that. But then we just said that just because a person has experience with a girl doesn't automatically mean they're straight, but just because a person has experience with whatever doesn't automatically mean that they're gay or whatever. So I would just eliminate the title until that person has explored whatever they want to explore and decide what they are in life. But I do believe we all have the we all have the whatever to be whatever we want to. So I would say more fluid. I think everyone has that fluidity within themselves or whatever. I wouldn't put a name on it though until they have actually decided what they
You have to decide for yourself who or what you are or what you want to be. As long as you're not hurting someone else, physically or verbally harming someone else, you're your person. You are you. Okay. Your sexuality is you. How you define that, that's you. It's not up to anybody else to define who you are, what you want to be, or whatever. You have to do that yourself. And Deshaun says, I think sexuality is a spectrum, but until we get to that conversation with all sexuality of people, these people on the outskirts are not going to get it. 100%. 100%. And then, I have down here scrolling, that human sexuality is a continuum. Every piece does not fit snugly into a puzzle. Gender and sexuality is fluid. And then that will conclude our show, everybody. Hold on a second here. All right, and then we want to thank everybody for joining us, and then still post your comments, and watch our other content. Joe and Jai were in here. You can go check out their content. Also, they got really good content. Also, I've been watching their stuff and going back later, watching some of the stuff that I've missed since I got into the YouTube stuff here. But thank the world for joining us. Thank you, Dallas. Thank y'all wherever y'all are. We appreciate y'all. Yes. And like, share, and subscribe. Comment, and we'll get back with you. If you post something, we'll get back with you in a day or two as we start looking, going through these comments. And again, sorry for last week where my computer shut off. I didn't have it fully charged, and I do apologize for that. And I went out and bought a new, so that doesn't happen again. I bought a new cable to keep everything charged at the same time. Yeah. But check out our other comment, and we do appreciate everyone for joining us. Okay, bye world. See you next week. We've had some good. Oh wait a minute. Let's see what. We got one more thing here. Let's see what Cecil says here. I feel hurt for those who cannot explore their sexuality and enjoy their true selves, like the lives in countries where it's a criminal offense. I hope everyone can be free to learn their sexuality. Thanks for that, Cecil. You were 100%. 100%. You have any final thoughts, Charles?
Not other than just accept yourself, accept who you are. Get to the point where you really actually know within your own self who you are and be satisfied with that. Like they say, the young people say, stand on business, stand on that and, say bye, the hands up to the haters, because, people are going to have their opinions or whatever. But you know who you are. I would say, it's a learning experience. You're going to have some friends that are going to agree, some friends that are not. And you just walk through that process. Gonna have family members, of course, that are gonna have their opinions, like we've seen in the chat room. There's a lot of different opinions on this subject or whatever. But as long as you know who you are within, that's what matters. And just be cautious on who you tell, who you come out to, because everyone's not ready for this conversation, as we can see in the comments or whatever. But just be yourself, accept who you are, and live your life.
And then there's groups out there for people who are struggling with acceptance of themselves. There's gay groups. There's actually gay straight groups out there. There's also if it's really bad, and if you can seek a therapist or whatever, seek help with a therapist who understands queer issues. Not be weary of the church. There are gay churches out there, so you might want to seek some help through that type of outlet. And then there are affirming churches out there that are predominantly heterosexual, but they're also affirming for a gay, lesbian, queer community. So seek out those type of individuals. I wouldn't seek out a church where they're preaching against homosexuality, because that can cause more harm than good. We got a lot of suicide rates because of this, and also other things do with suicide. But there are help groups out there. Type it into the Googlets, or ask around if you need any type of help dealing with why am I so gay? Because Charles is so gay. You don't find anybody.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And there is a sexual assault hotline. I know we mentioned molestation.
Mm-hmm.
The number is 1-800-656-4673. I already tried to just share and it wouldn't work or whatever, so it's okay. But yeah, you can dial that number, or even just Google, like if you've been molested or whatever, And I will also say, talking to someone if you've had that issue or whatever.
There you go. Share it. So there's the hotline. If anybody needs to, one of the hotlines. There's a whole lot of them out there. So if you need to chat with someone, that might be one that can help you. Right. Here we go. Okay, so bye everybody. I know we said that before, but bye everybody. Bye world. Thanks for joining us. Bye Dallas and all surrounding cities, DFW Metroplex. We appreciate all of y'all. Like, share, and subscribe.